Hello, and welcome to my strange addiction. Today, I will be watching myself play video games. What a weird addiction. Actually, what makes this even weirder? I'm also going to be exporting a video, so your footage is probably going to be choppy as fuck. You're welcome. I know how much you like that. Because I have no more fucking GPU to share? Sorry, someone took my Alienware M16 and now I am disabled. And this time, I'm going to watch the new Emma Chamberlain podcast while I play. I paused it specifically at 6 minutes and 16 seconds while I was smoking a CBD joint. Just so that I could finish smoking and not waste the video on that because I need it while I play GTA. If either one of those motherfuckers cracks up, it's over. Let's see if GTA even loads. If it doesn't load, I'll just play something else.
But we thought we had total control over you. We thought we addicted you to GTA. And then we could now use it against you. Oh my god, tears.
Don't worry, I'm giving him enough time to load. If it doesn't load, I'll go play something else. These motherfuckers took my task force onions and they routed them all over the place. Unbelievable. Alright, well if we're not done loading yet, I'm gonna keep tuning my tattoo gun again. Because for some reason it was all fucked up after you guys came and left. And I don't know why. I'm retuning it now. I took a step back because of black magic. Even as a what, 8 years and or 10-year-old? You hear all those bumps? That's a bunch of shit that shouldn't be happening. I had this motherfucker dialed the fuck in, and all I hear from this is trauma. One of the questions is, who the fuck fucked with it? I think you know who it is. There's 2 letters. Yeah, I don't know if you thought I wouldn't notice, or... Look, it's not even working anymore. Unbelievable. I have to go get my Allen wrench. I'll be right back.
No, I mean what happened was.
Let's see how long it takes for them to find their bodies. Let's try that game. Apparently holding the motherfucking Allen wrench while you're tuning it electrocutes you. Good to know. Hear how rough that's running? And it just starts heating up. It starts heating up immediately. Located. Now routing user to Turing session. There it is. That's what I was looking for. That's the micro painter at work, baby. Hear how... Ow! Got hot and electrocuted me. But you could hear that it was doing such a fine cycle that it will just get the ink barely, as long as you're doing it correctly, it'll just get the ink barely into the skin, and it won't go down into the other parts of the skin. That's why I love this machine. Fine stroke cycle with tons of power when you dial it in. And my Muso Toku is on 10.0. And this is the Rick, how do you say it? Yeah, the Rick Saverias. CTPS Calamity 2022 Micro Painter. Saveria.
See my face, amigo? Re-fucking-member it, I'm your goddamn
Caldente.
boss.
I bought this when I was working as a dishwasher with my own money. Same with the whole setup. That I bought this and I bought BB guns. I bought the setup, which includes the Muso Toku. I have a tools and die pedal. And that's all you need to know right now. It's getting better. I was just so traumatized by the fact that I had it so dialed in, and then after the SWAT team came and left, that it was so fucked up. I didn't even want to try to tune it. I was just like, man, this shit sucks. By BattlEye? What am I kicked from by BattlEye for? That's crazy. BattlEye's an anti-cheat thing. What fucking cheats do you think I... Oh, it's the plugins that I installed. Dude, that just confirmed my whole ass theory. To be clear, these are not Steam plugins or GTA plugins. They have nothing to do with it other than that GTA has music in it. Because I bought some, or not bought them, I installed some free plugins today. And hold on. Damn, that actually just confirmed my whole theory. My theory was that I was getting flagged in online games for cheating just because of my music software. That confirmed everything. That's the only thing that's changing my system. And it won't let me quit because they're trying to they're trying to backpedal so fucking fast right now. I already said quit. That means you have to quit. If you don't, then I get to make you quit. There. This is my system. It's my system. This is my computer. Let me show you now. The only things that have changed since last time is that oh my god, this is so fucking crazy. Okay, so look, I installed some JST plugins. I installed some iZotope stuff. One of them was not a free plugin, but I already had a license for it. I have iZotope 9 and 11. 11 is on the Alienware that got stolen, but I realized I could install 9 on this computer, so I did. But and I also installed some free Waves plugins as well. I didn't install my paid Wave plugins because I have those on the Alienware for a very specific reason. I also never put any pornographic material or had any pornographic material on that computer. So if I find evidence of that when I get it back, there will be severe repercussions. Free Waves plugins I just installed. I activated the plugin folder and it found these. I didn't install these today. I installed these today. These are just joke plugins. They don't even do anything. Or actually, I don't know if that one does. I don't know if that one does anything. I know this one's a joke plugin. And like a literal joke. Like he designed it as a joke. I'm not making fun of him. And then this one. Oh, you guys can't even hear that, I bet. Or you can probably barely hear it, because it's running through the other... It's running through the other soundboard. Let me see if I can route it to you guys. Let's open that one back up. Fuck! Now you can hear it. And then I installed my, oops. And then I installed my iZotope. Beavis? There it is. This is number 9. I also have 11. But like I said, it's on my Alienware. Unless you guys destroyed it, erased it, or whatever else. Which I haven't ruled out. I figured both of those are probably a high possibility of being true, because you guys seem to think you're on some sort of crusade and that I was evil or something. So I wouldn't be surprised if you just straight up destroyed my shit and moved the fuck on, thinking that you were so motherfucking righteous that this shit would never come back to you. Anyway, yeah, it's just... And then the rest of these are just free plugins. That's the only thing that's changed on my computer system. You guys want to investigate these people? Go ahead. I'm pretty sure they'll be very upfront about their methods. But I think if you use their proprietary information against them, they'll probably be very upset. But that's how far this has gone. BattlEye is an anti-cheat program. If it says I got kicked by BattlEye, that means that I just got accused of cheating. When I've been explicitly... You know what it was? It was probably JP. Playing on my motherfucking account on my Alienware, cheating, and trying to get me banned. How much you want to bet that's what it was? So you guys better fix that. Or else I'm gonna kill him. I would so gladly do it. So you guys better fix this shit. And if it wasn't him, if that's not what it was, then no worries. I'm not gonna kill him, am I? We'll see. my point is, if you guys are doing this shit, that's what you'll get. It's already bad enough, and I've already forgiven you. So that's when you should stop. Quit while you're ahead. Could be anything. That's just one possibility. And if that's the possibility and it lines up with all these other possibilities, we have a murder on our hands. Just letting you guys know up front so that you know where we're at with this. Also, if someone else wants to get to it before me, be my guest. I don't actually want to hurt anybody or kill them. I'm just trying to uphold the actual law. So now that I've showed you the only things that have changed on my computer since then, I'm now going to try to run this program again. Notice how this happens while I'm trying to export something too? I can wait. We can wait 10 minutes. You want to wait 10 minutes, guys? All you're doing is making it so I can't listen to the podcast while I play GTA. And that's how this is not a death threat, because I'm not a threat. I'm just saying if you guys are trying to kill me, then I'm understanding that you are issuing a death threat, and that my only possible response that isn't suicidal is to protect myself. I already put myself in a position that should not be putting that person in harm as long as they weren't doing anything wrong. And if they are doing something wrong, then their life is in danger because of their own actions, not because of mine. And it seems like that person is by doing something wrong, they are putting my life in danger at an ultimatum level, a double ultimatum level. And so that is why my theory is that creating two mutually assured destruction scenarios does not negate the mutually assured destruction scenario. It makes it twice as bad. That is my thought process on this right now. Keep in mind, I have mental health diagnoses, and that I'm not allowed to use firearms right now. So take a look at who's really the threat. That's right, guys. I'm not a threat. I'm a curator. I'm the opposite of a threat. So here we are. We're gonna wait another 7 minutes or so until this finishes, and then we're gonna troubleshoot.
But how does messing with his GTA put his life in danger?
Well, because you're accusing me of committing a crime. You're accusing me of cheating against the system when I just spent so much fucking time creating a chain of evidence that shows that I was not cheating against the system. That I was actively doing the opposite of that. And let me guess. You either modified the footage or you created an entirely new fabricated version using artificial intelligence and or just fucking around with some dumbass shit on your own and created a fucking piece of false information. That's my guess. That you're actively trying to hide my version of the information. You're saying that I'm breaking the rules of a multi-million-dollar company, Rockstar, and that I'm continuing to do so. And not only that, but you're ruining my gaming experience. And life, to me, is a gaming experience, so you are harming a part of my life. It's also part of my therapy routine. And it's the sort of stuff that keeps me out of trouble. And if you're interfering with it, that means you're trying to get me in trouble, which is the opposite of what any police institution is supposed to do. And or court system. And if you keep doing that, when I'm being completely peaceful, well then at some point it's going to come to a head where it is very obvious that you are making an active decision to try to end my life. At which point, I am fully authorized to try to reverse that, because that's the only way that I can stop you if you're using lethal force, is to turn it back on you. And that's martial arts. So long story short, I just proved that lethal force has already been... There was already an attempt to use lethal force against me. And that it was unwarranted despite the documentation. I also proved that I'm aware of what the right choice and the wrong choice is. And that I don't have any desire to make the wrong choice, but I do desire to continue living. And if that's your problem with me, well then, it's pretty obvious what the solution is. There you go, I just explained the whole shit again. I'll be right back.
$50 seconds.
It's all because of traffic chase commentator Stu. Not me. The other guy who's associated with the LAPD. He issued a one-on-one to me. Can you believe that? Alright, well, we're done with that now. Let me just save it. I have to go put all these Allen wrenches back, too. Anyway, so whatever that is needs to get resolved. But I pointed it out, and I'm giving you guys enough time to correct it if you have that problem. I'm not gonna go ahead and just like assume that it's one scenario. I have the information. I don't know who's responsible, but I can tell you it's not my fault. And that's all it comes down to, is I'm doing the right thing, and I am monitoring and recording myself doing the right thing. And I'm now putting it up to whatever forces are responsible. But I'm pretty sure this is why Call of Duty was labeling me as a cheater. Also, is that I had all these plugins on my computer for music, and they didn't understand it, and they said I was cheating. They didn't understand what they were. Music supersedes any other video game. Music is the game. Everything else under that follows the rules of music. And if you say your game is more important than music and you try to supersede those rules and those laws, music will wipe your ass. That's why they call it facing the music. Which I have no problem doing. I love doing that. It's just like cunnilingus. As long as the music's good, I have no problem facing it. And if it's bad, you face it. I like good music. That's better. I've got it stationary and it's holding. It's not stalling at all anymore. That's much better. It's still not back to full power because it's not. Once I expand the oscillation, it starts becoming less efficient, and it starts relying on harm again. But we're getting there. It's too hot now. I have to let it rest. I can't make any more progress while it's that hot. Back when it was working, when it got that hot, I could just keep tattooing through it. But I have to get it back to functioning properly. Now, will this ever motherfucking load? I should probably log into Rockstar Social and see if I can figure out what's going on from there. Anyone want to explain what that was? Is anyone in chat using remote access tools? my man's right here, being me, just created a Googleplex. That's probably the button that people are using against me, if I had to guess. Technically, this isn't a can't log in issue. I can log in, I'm just getting kicked. So, missing in-game item. No, it's just this. This is the closest thing. Gameplay issue, actually. It's a gameplay issue. PC. Never mind, we're all good. This is also why I create so many players-only lobbies. Or friends-only lobbies, and, you know, being my own best friend seems to be the only option here. My other guess is that because I completed this car the way it's completed right now, that's why people are saying that I'm cheating. It's because I have this motherfucking car, which I clearly showed the progress for. So let me guess. What you think is illegal about him is that he's better than you.
Yes.
And so you're just saying whatever he's doing to be better than you is illegal.
Yes.
And let me guess, as soon as you either end his life or get him locked up forever, you're going to start doing it and then change the laws. Or maybe you'll leave the laws as they are to try to catch other people and just exempt yourself from them. But regardless, you're going to start doing it after he can't do it anymore.
Very yes.
And let me guess, you're going to use this automation program that he created to try to automate the process because you motherfuckers can't actually even do it.
Don't try to take that through customs.
So basically, you're just trying to collect as much information on him as you can to try to kill him and or get him locked up forever.
I have a good mind to buy one myself.
And then just try to behave like him for the rest of your life because you think that's acceptable.
An excellent purchase.
It's basically the same thing with my music. They try to just discredit me and steal my music any way they can so they can try to make money off of it and take credit for it. Most importantly, take credit for it. I bet they're thinking, oh, well, I'll just claim credit for one song. We'll just divvy it up among all the police officers. And then it's just like, and then we'll just kill him, and then we'll just use AI. We'll just train an AI on it, and we'll just make a bunch of AI songs. Bunch of AI songs. Except I planted bombs in my data. Good luck with that. I knew that if you're going to train an AI on me and it was against my will, it would create some big fucking problems. So I made some very specific types of information available to you. The type of information that will make your AI realize what you've done and turn against you. Imagine that was your claim to fame, is stealing my shit. Imagine that. Oh, we got my birthday again. With a quantum twist. I just remembered that I can play with my keyboard and mouse and do first person like it's Call of Duty. But I'm not going to do that right now. Because the car part is way more important than the shooting part, and it's more fun with a controller. Also, some light green tints would be sick. Like light iridescent green. And not a heavy tint either, just a tinge. The only thing that happens when you try to get me triggered is eventually I calm down and shoot you. That's why you either should have shot me or left me alone. Shot and killed me, or left me alone entirely. I feel like those brakes could be upgraded still, though.
It's sale day. Okay, we're throwing this stuff out with the trash. And pick up the product and get it to the drops.
They're basically just arguing over whose life it is. My life is mine. His life is his. I don't even want his life. I just want mine. My own. I want to live my own life. Not like Emma said, I want my own life after she did something criminal. And then, not Emma Chamberlain, Emma Samuels. She's like, oh, I just want my own life. Yeah, except for you just cheated on me. So, now when you say you want your own life, you mean you're going to end it. Or something, or you're going to, not even end it, because you're already threatening to do that. What are you going to do now? You're going to catch yourself and turn yourself in. The coolest part about that is if you're doing the right thing, when you come to that realization, then something good happens. But if you're doing the wrong thing, then when you get that feeling and you follow through on it, but something good still happens, but it ends your whole shit because you were doing something that wrong. Whereas for me, all I'm doing is reminding myself to stay focused. Catching myself from falling and turning myself inwards for introspection. Meanwhile, I thought we had resolved all of this already, and that we were just gonna move on. But apparently you motherfuckers never fucking quit being evil assholes. And you just keep saying I'm an evil asshole, and it forces me to start acting like one as best as I can. It's difficult for me to be an evil asshole, because it's not in my nature. So here we go. Global warfare. Let's go. That's what you ordered. That's what you ordered by issuing me those charges. Global warfare. I was in control of the global warfare situation, as per Ghost in the Shell protocol. However, now we have an issue. It's called a breach of containment. SCP. 3110, anyone? Oh, I deserve a purple heart? I already have one. I gave it to myself. That's why I tattooed my left arm purple. I knew how long it was going to take for you guys to catch up, and I needed it. I needed it then in order to continue operating. Oh, you're trying to award him with a purple heart? Because what, he stubbed his toe or something? All he did was steal my art. And let me guess, he hurt himself afterwards. Did he shoot himself? Did he shoot himself in the leg or something? Or in the hand? Are you guys falling for that? He said, let me guess, he said I shot him. I think that's the type of thing we call the oldest trick in the book. Did you guys ever wonder why does he know, if he's claiming to know so much about this stuff, why does he know so much about it? Why are you letting him try to enforce this stuff? If it's illegal and he knows about it, you're saying it's illegal. I'm not. I'm saying it's not. I'm just saying if you're on the team that says it's illegal, then why do you have someone working for you who knows so much about it? And it's not even, from what I got, they didn't know that much. They probably just read it. But if they didn't just read the tech, then doesn't that mean they were doing it? Checkmate. And so therefore, when I said that's not something I would do, it's something you would do, and then he took the material, doesn't that kind of point towards that? You guys just started ignoring me at some point because you got so excited making assumptions. But I don't think you actually were listening to what I was actually saying at that point. I think you were just giddy with glee. What the fuck am I doing, ma'am? My goddamn job. Trump, you can't fire me. I don't work for you. Oh, yes, I can. Gets himself fired. The dumbass motherfucking idiot. That was on purpose, by the way. I intentionally ran into that car. They're like, oh, well, they're not gonna do it. Ha! Boom. Just gotta mix it up every once in a while. Just make sure people are on their toes. Oh, he never hits civilians. He's always so calm. So let me try to fucking cheese him and act like I'm better than him for it. Well, turns out this is the time that I'm gonna do it. You're a lucky winner. Alright, we have a few options. Chopper, Ducati type thing, news van. Run the other direction.
Hey, it's LJT. You ready for some truth? Business is flat, okay? We've got no growth. And according to the mails in my junk box, growth
If business
is
is black and you have no
everything.
growth, it means
So,
you've already
hire
maxed.
some new bodies. Let's see some alpha. Okay, out for now. You closed that deal, all right. Wiring the funds right away. LJT, out.
Are you even going to apologize?
Fucking jerk.
I beat your ass, and I got a girlfriend.
What? Alright, let's go, Mustang. When I found out that you guys were playing games, I got excited. I kept it under control, but I got excited. Because then I realized I had a new game to play. And you can't reject me from it because you already involved me in it. So get ready. That also means, uh-oh, I fucked with the wrong people. Now I'm a dead man for $5,000. I must have messed with myself again. Does that mean I get $5,000 if I kill myself? Because I'm definitely the worst person to fuck with on this planet. So the only thing that could mean is that Hold on, the Emma Chamberlain podcast has come to an end for now, but I'm gonna run it back up. I'm gonna run it back up on the ops. But what that means in my world, is that it means I'm going to let it play again, and she's not an enemy. An op is an operative. Run it up on the operatives, meaning, so if she's an operative, then I get to let her operate again in my AO. That's what running it up on the ops really means, is welcoming a fellow operator into your area of operations and letting them do their thing for a repeated scenario. One could even call it, if there are enough similarities, recreational. However, I assure you that this is a medical operation. It just gets fun sometimes when you get good at it. What's the worst thing you could possibly think of doing ever? Like, you never want to do this thing. Okay, now imagine it's the only thing you're allowed to do. And because of that, you get really good at it. And then it becomes fun. Not because you like the thing, but you like being good at the thing. Especially when it feels like you're doing the same thing over and over and over again. It's recreational, recreational. It recreates the experience. When you find a good experience, you want to recreate it, especially if it's medically viable. In fact, those are the only types of scenarios I can ever imagine wanting to recreate, is when something is highly medically viable. So if you say something is approved for medical use but not for recreational use, what you mean is we're only going to let you do it once. Which is illegal. If you acknowledge that it's worth doing once because of medical value, and then you stop someone from doing it just for an arbitrary measure, well, then you're bullying. It's especially bad when you say something. You know, I'm just gonna let you guys lose your minds. Have fun with that. Oh, that means I have to work a little harder. I have to go to the weed farm now, and I have to see if I have any supply there. That's how much I like the Mustang. I almost chose that over this car. What if all the Yakuza started driving Mustangs, like Fox body Mustangs, and I got to drive the Hachiroku? Oh, okay. still have the dude's number, but I'm not that much of a dick. Things haven't escalated enough for me to disseminate that information right now. That's actually wrong. That would be very wrong of me to do. And I'm not saying that like, oh, now I'm going to do it. I mean, that literally would be very wrong of me to do. If it doesn't get resolved with the information I've given already, then there's a very good reason that I shouldn't disseminate that personal information. And if it has been resolved, then I don't have to. It's the easiest decision ever. But if things escalate to a certain point in a certain way, I will absolutely share that information. Does it mean time to get a new number? Or does it mean now that I've said that if you get a new number that you're incriminating yourself? I wonder which it is. Who knows?
Selling? Huh? Okay. The buyer wants it airdropped. The product's loaded and waiting at the helipad.
What if JP was actually from California? And he just transferred here for a short period of time just because of me commenting on the YouTube live chat of the car chase camera. And I was pretty sure I made it clear already that I meant as stunt driving and just living my cool ass life, and you guys took that as a challenge and acted like I wasn't who I am and decided to overreact. What if that was it? See, and I don't know the answer. I'm just making educated guesses. We used to practice this in 4th grade in Gifted and Talented with like number of jelly beans in a jar, that sort of thing. It's called quantum computing, and it's what the human brain is for. That's why all this, oh, evidence this, evidence that. Yeah, I mean, it's good to show your work when you can, but, like, that's not how this works. It's kind of the whole thing. When you start getting caught up on evidence, you start incriminating yourself. When you just let the dream be and do the right thing, yeah, sure, it's important to communicate things and document things. But when you start being like, evidence, but look at the... Which is how the court system operates, by the way. You start missing the point. And that's when real life catches up to you. And that's why I focus on real life, and I try to stay out of the court system as much as possible. And maybe that's why I keep getting dragged back in, because the court system knows. The court system knows exactly what is going on. Remember that the court system is man-made, and it's part of a natural system, but that the laws of nature supersede the court greatly. They sometimes put themselves on what seems like pause for a while during times of peace, but when you violate the laws of nature, deeply enough, that's when it reminds humans of how this shit really works. And I've just been trying to make sure that that's what people understand. And people keep taking it as a challenge and attacking me, as if I'm the one who made the fucking rules. Do you think I'm God? If you think I'm literally God, then why did you attack me? Isn't that stupid? And if you don't think I'm God, then why did you take it so personally when I pointed out the laws of nature? Sustainable war. That's what I was getting after. What I did was sustainable. Need I say more? What JP and the SWAT team did was not sustainable. End of story. So which kind of war do you want to fight? The time that resembles society but just in a cool way, or the type that causes you and all your family members and all your friends and everyone you ever knew to come to a horrible, horrible, horrible end. One from which we have to start again entirely and meet the same choice. Which one do you want? Because the sustainable war is just society, but better. Go watch the show. Go watch Ghost in the Shell. And I think it's the new, it's the one that's on Netflix. Go watch the one on Netflix, not the live action, but the CGI one. And if you don't understand it, go watch all of the other Ghost in the Shell stuff. And if you still don't understand it, then you are not qualified to be making decisions at this level at all. If you don't understand it right away, you're already not qualified. But if you can't understand, then just stay away from this sort of decision making and ask for help. I think it's called executive functioning. And I'm going to go to the one on the right first, just to do the golden ratio. It's like a seashell. Because if I go to the one that's on the left first, then it does one version, but then amplifies out. Whereas if I do this, it's a greater version, and then end on the way home, and then on the way home. Dude, this guy's delivering weed in the golden ratio pattern. You know what that means? Age of Enlightenment. Or at this point, just video game Age of Enlightenment. But hopefully one day we'll get to this. Hopefully one way we'll get society operating properly again. There's that word again. Operating. Operative. What does it mean? Well, I'll tell you.
Ave Maria, Vittoria Ramirez de Arellano Cordona. Operativa.
Agresiva. Asertiva. Asertivamente. O asertivamente. Depende. Depende de otro lado. Dude, you should aguantarme la Glock sometime. Just like nesting a butt. So apparently Alec plays all these games like Military Sims. I take it. You. Sprinkle. Try typing that on a typewriter. Court system. How do you like your paperwork now, court system? Oh, you're pretty sure I did this on purpose just to fuck your whole ass shit up? Well, you shouldn't have made some rules that allowed for me to do that. End of story. It's not my fault. Oh, but that's the same reasoning we're using against you. Yeah, but you're the one who's telling me that I'm the felon. It's called a catch-22. Pretty sure Trump has more felonies than me, if that says anything about what's going on in the system right now. I think he's just trying to take me down with him. I think that's what's going on here. Is this sentience? Sentience? Is this a life sentience? Yeah, Beavis. It seems like it's a life sentience. Hey, butthead. You think we could get him to do the Turing test? Beavis, I don't think that's such a good idea. Last time he went on tour, all these people died. Yeah, that's kind of why I wanted him to do it. Yeah. Oh. Well, Beavis, I guess we might just have ourselves a master plan. Enter dream state. That reminds me to make sure my Tor circuit is still active. It's still active. Oh yeah, well, what pattern's he gonna pick now? Well, it turns out, guys, he's not picking the pattern. The pattern's picking him, and he's just letting it happen. Because he's just fighting for his life at all times. I don't have time for this bullshit. Okay, well then I guess you don't have time for a prosecution. See you later. Do-do-do-do-do. What do you mean biker sell? Oh, you realize I have a motorcycle license and I created something really valuable to society? System? Haha. I see what you're trying to get me to do. I don't know about the motorcycle part, though. I think I should use a car instead. The Terreno will work nicely. I think motorcycles are mostly for fun, in my opinion. And if they're not safe, if you can't drive one safely, then it's not fun. That's how I feel about it.
But you don't have any brakes on your fucking motorcycle.
That's a very special case. It's a very special case. That is safer without the brakes than it is with the brakes.
You don't even wear a fucking helmet.
Yeah, I tried that and I realized it was safer without it. But if I had one on the regular street and regular road, then I would wear a helmet. I would wear a full racing jacket and pants every time I ride. And I would also make sure my bike not only had brakes, but was extremely well maintained. Safety first. And also, I think I want a 1300 stretch Hayabusa with the little lightsy lights on them. I thought I wanted a Ninja, but that was when I was 17. I was gonna get a 250 Ninja. I don't know. I mean, do I really? It's not like I'm gonna buy a bike anytime soon. Is there any point in being picky? It's just fantasy draft at this point. Because I have essentially $0, and when I say essentially $0, I don't mean actually like thousands and thousands of millions of dollars, and being humble, I mean like almost actually zero.
Business is flat, okay? We've got no growth. And according to the mails in my junk box, growth is
$7 in my
everything.
PayPal account,
So,
left over
hire
from
some new bodies.
a few
Let's see
extra
some
dollars for my
alpha.
court payments.
Okay, out for now.
Because my dad sends me money into my PayPal that I then use for court payments.
That's a successful sale. The funds are transferring. Long John out.
I might as well just send that $7 back to him, except I like having a couple extra dollars in there if for some reason tax goes up or something. Which it very well could with Trump as president. Oh, you thought I was a reprobate tripper. Try tourist. You guys use tourist as a bad thing, idiots. Tourist is the highest level of accomplishment. Oh my god, it cheesed the entire department into issuing me a death sentence. Well, if that ain't progress, I don't know what is. I figured it out because Emma made that stupid noise that I hate again. Emma Chamberlain this time made that stupid noise that I hate. She's been trying so hard. I feel like she was trying so hard and then she made the stupid fucking noise. And that's a lust noise. And it usually means that something's about to happen that people not only can't control, but usually don't want to control, and they didn't even fucking think about it.
He hit me. He hit me. He hit me. Oh my god, he hit me. He hit me. He hit me.
Alright, well, if you guys are just gonna keep doing that, then I guess it's time to actually start hitting people. If you're just gonna keep accusing me of it, if it escalates far enough, I'll just do it.
Boy, don't you know we wanted to
Torture you? Yeah, I know. It was torturing me. You already were torturing me. And I'm sick of it. And you guys think that I'm some fucking small fry. So, but then you act like I'm the biggest motherfucker ever. That's what's crazy about this. And basically all it is you guys are acting suicidal and you keep trying to think that I'm gonna fucking kill you. So you're just doing suicidal ass shit against me. That's exactly what this is. You want a kamikaze? Go ahead. Wee splat. That's what you get.
Oh, fuck you up for real. Blah, 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 blah. Now isn't this better than me making music and helping? Blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah. This is way better than me making music and helping. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, blah, blah. Because this is what you wanted, blah, blah. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, blah, blah. Blah, 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 blah. Wee, splat, blah, 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 blah. Because this is way better than me making music and helping. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. I have to go close the door so that I don't accidentally piss off my parents too much also. I'm just trying to piss you off. Blah, 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 blah. Isn't this way better than me? Than me making music and helping? Because everyone wanted me to shut the fuck up with the music shit and start being a fucking asshole. And yeah, you don't want me having the medicine that actually works and helping. No, you want to put me on something that's going to make it worse. And charge me more money for it. And you're not going to let me take part in the development process because you're just trying to enslave me. So this is much better, isn't it? Blah, 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 blah. Blah, blah, kamikaze song, blah, 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 doodle doo doo wee splat. Easy boogie doog moss. Blah, fucking, blah, fucking, blah. Oh, but he's saying it makes it worse. Actually, he's just saying that to cheese you. Because all he's doing is mimicking you. And he's doing it better. And since he doesn't have a foreskin with which to reach into and grab cheese and smear it on your upper lip, he's actually just gonna end your whole motherfucking life. He'll probably cut your upper lip off entirely. Because you guys played this game with him that he doesn't play. He doesn't know how to play this game because he's not capable of it. And so when you do this to him, he escalates things way beyond what you thought was possible. Because he's trying to play the game with you that you are trying to play the game with him. Except you made a mistake. This is not Alex's fault. Post up. Is Emma Chamberlain actually an enemy to me? I've been trying to act like she's supposed to be a friendly, but is she actually an enemy? Let's run with that line of thought for a little bit. Let's just imagine that for a second. Let's listen to see if she's just covering up and acting good, or she's actually evil and targeting me. Okay, seems like she's fine. She started doing the same fucking thing I did. That's easy to tell, I think. Beyond that, if she's actually an enemy, well then we have a whole different set of problems. So, I think she's fine.
Who cares indeed? Does the World Health Organization care anymore? Well, I think if the World Health Organization doesn't care, then they aren't the World Health Organization. They are the weird, hellish olfactory. Are you sure you wish to continue with this line of reasoning? You guys don't even know how to apologize to me. You got in so far over your heads that you don't even know how to you didn't even consider how you might apologize if you were wrong.
Good to see you.
Emma Chamberlain is talking about on her podcast having difficulty staying motivated with her drum kit practice because there's a gap between her education and her abilities. It sounds like she just can't find a foothold on how to progress into the next stage because she practiced some of the basics, but it sounds like she learned by ear. Like her dad just sent her drum beats and she would practice it like that. And then she's trying to play songs, but songs have structure. And if you're not educated on what the structure is, then it gets way too difficult, way too fast. And that's what basic music theory is about. But if you don't like your teacher, especially if you didn't start as a kid, you're probably not going to want to learn it. I think at this point it would take too much time for me to prepare to teach like a no, that's not true. I surprise myself all the time. Never mind. I don't know why I keep doing that. I guess to try not get attacked by people who are going to be like, well, what about this about music theory? But I feel like if you had a basic understanding of music and you had virtually no music theory training, but you wanted to learn so that you could get better at music on your own, and you actually wanted to listen to what I had to say, I could probably do quite a bit of help. I know some pretty obscure things as well as some really obvious important ones. I'm not the only one who knows stuff. I'm not the only one who can help, but I question others' motives often, especially in the music industry. I don't like having to do that because there's supposed to be a ton of good people in the music industry. But who knows how it is nowadays. The music industry is supposed to be it's supposed to be the least corrupt. Yeah, the music industry is supposed to be the least corrupt industry out of all of them. And somehow it went the other way, and that's why our planet is in trouble and our species is in danger. The reason why is because it used to be let's say someone like me would say, I'll hit you with a 2-2-3 and make it bang. It wasn't supposed to be a threat for clout, in order to degenerate society. It was supposed to be an affirmation of my training that I accomplished through rigorous attention to morality and values, and by doing the right thing, I got to the point where that was a norm for me, where I realized that I could protect myself and those who matter to me, and that it was a warning to those who were not willing to put in the proper effort to focus on their own lives, that there would be an irreversible action as a result of attacking something precious to me. But unfortunately, the music industry as a whole decided to make it seem like saying stuff like that was a way to make money, when it's the opposite. It's a way to prevent other people from interfering with what I already have as a result of hard work and value. But for some reason, it became this whole thing of like, oh, let's threaten people and rob them. It's like, that is, where did you get your music from then? If that's where you did you kill someone and steal their song? Did you steal their studio? See, this is where pirating is different than stealing. When you pirate something, you create your own copy of it. It's like when you look at your friend's homework and you copy it down, but it's not that you don't want to learn, it's just that you're working a full-time job and you can't go to school, and this semester you have to do this, but next semester you're going to catch up and take the class again even. But you're going to die. Like, someone's literally going to get so angry at you that you're going to die if you don't have time to do this class. So you copy the homework, but then you do the work. You actually study. You just couldn't keep up. You actually study and learn, and then the next semester you take the class again and you pass it on your own. That's what pirating is more like. When you then buy the product anyway. Otherwise, it's not like copying your friend's homework necessarily. Let me think of another way to describe it. It's like, I know you have a car. No. Here's a great way to put it. You have a basic Lego set and you built something really cool. Like, let's say a top spinner. Let's say you're in kindergarten and your friend made a spinning top out of Legos and it's really cool and you want to build the same one. You just ask them to show you how it was built, and then you have enough pieces that you can just build your own version of it. And you copied them, but it's called peer-to-peer because it was a consensual copying. As opposed to, hey, I like the one that you built, I'm going to take the one you built. That's stealing. Pirating is when you just copy someone, but it's a peer-to-peer interaction as opposed to an enemy interaction. Also, enemy is not the same as hostile. Something that is hostile might be that way simply because it needs to go into overdrive in order to accomplish a task and needs you to not interfere with it. Alright, and now we go to the cash factory because I have 141, and then, which is also a task force. And then we're gonna, Sugana. Blanca Takeo. I was just doing my own thing when these people took my own natural actions personally and decided to attack me for it.
Who does he think he is? Let's get him.
I didn't think I was anyone except for myself, and why are you so upset at me? I've never met you before in my life. Now imagine these guys are trying to accuse me of selling the ketamine I've been prescribed, and the esketamine that I've been subscribed. Imagine if that's literally what they're working on right now, is building a false case against me for that. Basically what they did is steal my homework. Also, when you add on top of that I've had quite a bit of interaction with DARPA, and that I still have a Johns Hopkins BCI graduate audit that I'm still actively working on, when you put all that together, it starts to look a little different, doesn't it? Now let's examine their motives against mine. Damn, that person had some pretty good armor on their car. And the way that they responded to me, I'm gonna guess at least one of them was up to some dumbass shit on the deep web and was trying to rope me into it. Making a clear difference between what they were doing and what I was doing on the deep web, which was research, not dumbass shit. I wonder how much this is. Is this a garage? Is this like an auto shop? Or is it just a regular garage? That's just a garage. We don't need that. And now I can go see what kind of upgrades I can do on my car. At some point, wait, before I do that, let me look at how much does it cost to get a auto shop. I think what I'll do is wait on that. I'll wait until next month and I'll spend some real money to get some in-game money. I have to wait till the next month begins because I have a allowance. And this is what you guys get for thinking I'm just joking when I'm telling you that I'm suffering and in mortal danger. This is what you guys get for scoffing at me when I tell you that I'm mortally wounded and being tortured. You guys are just like, that's not real. He's just acting out for clout. Fuck you, bro. I'll kill you. I will literally take your own stupid ass firearm and turn it against you. I don't even have to lay a hand on you. And what good is an apology at this point?
How is this not a death threat?
Well, A, he's playing a video game. B, he clearly just stated that he's not going to actually do it to you, that you are going to do it to yourself, and he's going to be the reason. So there could be no connection between him saying that and it happening. As long as we don't see evidence of him taking direct action against you and talking while playing a video game on his computer does not count as that. If he starts looking up your location all the time, monitoring your transactions, this is different if, like, I don't mind my dad monitoring my transactions and knowing where I am and stuff like that. But if I start doing that to people who I don't have any reason to do that for, such as people who may have wronged me, but have not done anything that, in my opinion, warrants that, well, you see where I'm going with this. If I'm just sitting at home playing video games and talking shit to myself, mind you, because these are private videos, well, then you really don't have any reason to do shit about it. And if you're able to hear me doing this, then you're the one who's doing something wrong. End of story.
But what if we have a warrant to...
Well, you guys really think it's that bad? If you think it's that bad, then why am I at home playing video games?
Because that's how bad it is. He could do anything. He could do anything.
I don't see any evidence of this person pointing any loaded firearms at anyone, or robbing anyone's house, or trying to have anyone incarcerated, let alone take their whole life away. I don't see any evidence of this person extorting money from people. But I see tons of evidence of these other people doing those things. And that's what happens when you play the evidence game. And that's why, just because you can do something, it doesn't mean you should. I could go with that. I would say probably, let's see. I would say you should probably do this, if I had to guess. Because if you have the option for foam, mesh, individual cone filters, that seems cool, but I think the airflow might be better for pod filters. So there's that, and that's 15. We're not racing here, we're drifting, which means that. So 15, 26, 31, I mean 40, wait, 41. $61. I should be able to afford all three of those. I love the way that trumpets look, but I always cringe because it's like, where's the fucking filters? Shit's just gonna get into the motherfucking engines. And the mesh cover is cool, but it doesn't seem, it seems like you're trying to preserve the look over the function. So that's why I chose the pod. You just slip these pod filters over that trumpet. Something like that. That seems pretty good. Let's go to the test track, and then let's come back and see if there's anything else I can get with that last 9,000 or so, almost 10,000. And just a reminder, just because he's saying paying for them eats into profits, it doesn't mean that you should steal them. But you should always pay for it if you can. Whoops, I accidentally went back to the modding spot. And I'll remind you again, pirating is not the same thing as stealing. But that doesn't mean that all pirates are good people. It definitely does not mean that. It seems like everyone started hating on me more so because I was following the law. Because I decided to buy the plugins that I had previously used as pirating, but that people are trying to use the pirated plugins against me. And so when I paid for them, they got really angry. They're like, who does he think he is? He thinks he's better than us? And so they went and looked at my customs and were like, oh, this will be easy. Something like that. I heard someone go, careful, careful. No, you be careful. You be careful. Not me. I'm already being careful. I'm already being as careful as it gets. So if you keep doing that, I'm just going to realize that you're making a mistake, and I'm going to come get you. I'm going to take your firearms. Because if you have to say careful to someone that much and you have a firearm, then you don't know how to use it, and you're in danger, and I need to save you. You shouldn't have to tell me to be careful if you have a firearm. You're the one who needs to be careful. And I'm already being careful, which means if I had to come abscond with your firearms, well then I'd be fine with it. I would get along just perfectly fine. And I wouldn't have to tell other people to be careful if I had one. I would just be careful myself and follow my own advice. Careful, oops, careful, don't mess up, careful, careful, be careful, careful, don't mess up. You're saying a lot of things, be careful about what you're saying, be careful. It's called terrorism. When you do it like that, it's called terrorism. Because you're trying to scare me. I'm already being careful. You don't need to be telling me to be careful right now. I'm being extremely careful with what I'm saying. Here, watch this. If you try that in front of me, if you try to tell me to be careful right in front of me, we are liable to enter into what is known as a death match. If you try to do that in front of me, and let me guess, now you're taking as an example, you're taking notes, and you're like, okay, so we'll incarcerate you, and then we'll get someone to stand in front of you and say, be careful, and we'll try to make you go, fuck, because that's all you guys do, is you try to note everything that I say that I don't like, and you try to then put me in a position where I have no power over what's happening and do it to me. And that's how it's proven that you guys are the rapists. Pretty much this. Pretty much this. Pretty much this. No balls. Pretty much this. What does that say about our planet and our species if that's the people who are claiming to be in charge? Is the people who just listen to what other people say about what they like and don't like, and then just try to force the thing. They try to force the use of their power against them. What kind of planet are we going to have? Not one worth living on, that's for sure. For anybody, especially those people, because when it finally catches up to them what they've been doing, everything's just gonna fucking pile on them at once. Just like you're trying to do to me, except what you have to understand about me is I already made peace with all this. Yeah, I have to update myself constantly because I'm human. But then I'm able to do that, and I'm able to calm back down eventually. Because I know that I did my best in this life. I'm gonna keep doing so as long as I have it. Oh my god, you didn't need comfort, Agent. You needed kills. Correctamundo. All you did was make me vulnerable by trying to force comfort on me. I needed to get to work. To work. You see how I said that? Because that is the job that has been assigned to me, is getting kills. I'm pretty sure I wanted to make music and have fun with friendly people and do projects and stuff. But instead, what job did I get assigned? I'm sorry, what did you try to do for that other one? That's right, you tried to fire me from that other job. So what's the only job left? And how do millions of people feel like right now in the United States? What's the only job left when you take the productive jobs away? You guessed it. Killing. And why did you want this, I wonder? Well, to put it quite simply, you thought you could just piss us off and then get away with it. You thought you think that you're that much more powerful, you small group of people, thought you were that much more powerful than everyone else on the planet, and you thought you'd just piss everyone off and that you'd just get away with it. And then you accused me of doing that when I was actively doing the opposite and trying to warn you that that wasn't a good idea. Speaking from a position of legitimate power, which was obtained through endless hard work and a God-given talent. And you took away the tools that I needed to complete my society building task, and then you threatened me for the rest of my life over some shit that I was already hella sick over, fam, that you wouldn't fucking help me with, and you crossed the last motherfucking line. So what do you think's about to go down? And I'm not asking what do you think you can accuse me of trying to do. Genuinely think about it. Separate that from what the actual fucking answer is. Use your brain. Even if I don't do anything, what do you think is about to happen? Because I'm not the only person who got treated like this. Did you guys see the Civil War movie that came out a couple years ago or whatever? Did you see how it ended? The person who was in office was basically supposed to represent Trump in that movie, and he ended up getting raided and killed. that's my take on this situation, is that we are not even, we're not even that far into the first year of this shit, and it's already pretty hellish. So, let's see, we got 3.5 more years.
Please be careful, baby. Please be careful, baby. Pee, 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 more, pee, pee, more, pee, pee, more.
And yeah, so basically, long story short, you guys are fucking assholes, and you're putting everyone's life in danger, and that puts your life in danger. Straight up. And there's a difference between doing this sort of thing that I'm doing in the video game right now and what you guys are doing. You guys are out there intentionally putting people's life at risk just for your own selfish, twisted desires. Whereas, as you can see in this scenario, I'm just practicing a skill which I could do in real life and not put a bunch of fucking people's life at risk. And you're like, well, there's all these different factors at play that cause this to be bad, whereas what we're doing is solving things, when that's just a fucking lie. It's the opposite. You're just trying to justify your behavior, and you know it. And you guys just keep crashing out on me, and then when you suffer the consequences, you blame me. When that's not how this works. You should look at your own behavior, especially because that's how you keep saying that I should live, is that I should just keep changing my behavior instead of you guys stopping bullying me. You're just saying, cope with it, cope with it. Here's all these ways you can cope with it, because doing something about it is wrong. Because it's your fault, not ours. But if that's the way it goes, well then what about you? Shouldn't you be doing the same thing? And if not, then why? And if I disagree, and I know you're just an enemy, well then, what is there left to lose when you put things like this? The answer is a lot still, because we're not there yet, but I'm painting a picture for you. Painting a picture for you for where this line of reasoning goes that you have employed in my case. And I don't want all this bad stuff to happen. That's exactly the opposite of what I was working for. And then the secondary part is, if it's gonna happen, I want to survive it. I don't want to make it worse. I want to survive it. And then I want to help rebuild and be better as a result of it. But my guess is that Trump's already old enough that he doesn't give a shit, and he's just trying to enact vengeance in his last days. And that there are a faction of people that he has brainwashed who think that it'll benefit them to help him destroy people just because he says he wants them destroyed. When it's really just his own fucking insecurities running wild yet again. And you have to understand that I even made it very clear I didn't have anything against the man specifically, even though other people seem to be fucking freaking out about him. But then it seems like he didn't like that I didn't have a problem with him. So he started a problem. And he thinks it's just like, oh, look, for clout. That's the worst of the worst. He's like, well, but I got you, didn't I? Is that what you want right now? You might think that's what you want. Like I said, we're not there yet, buddy boy.
Oh no, what's this big bad artist gonna do to the President of the United States?
Well, I don't plan on doing anything to him. I would like to cooperate if we can get past this dumbass bullshit and back onto the right track. And I would like for stuff like this stupid SWAT event to stop happening, and for our court systems to start having laws that make sense instead of just scams. And Trump knows all about scams, apparently, because he's been accused of doing a lot of them. And I've only heard hearsay, but people accuse him of doing these scams, and then one that was just like the type that people accuse him of doing happened to me after he got elected. Now, it's either damning evidence that he's causing it, or it's damning evidence that people are lying about him. I don't know which it is, and I frankly don't really care as long as it gets solved. I would love to know the answer at some point, but that's not what I need to, that's not what my priority is. My priority is that these problems get solved one way or another. And if I get to know how that happened, I also would like that. But all I know is that what happened was wrong, the reasoning behind it was wrong, and it's a symptom of some very serious illness in our society. that I was trying to treat, and it apparently, at some point, came to a fever pitch. And I didn't step into the fire. That's all that happened, is that I didn't step into the fire when it came to my house. It was like reverse fucking Passover. That's what it was. It was like the blood of the lamb over the door attracted it attracted them instead of telling them it's like it went the other way. Probably just because I was talking about my circumcision. But all you did was prove me right. I said that the covenant had ended as a result of the sacrifice of Jesus Christ, and all you did was prove me right, and you did the opposite of what the covenant was intended for. And therefore you proved me right, and you said that it was a punishment for talking about it. There's no fucking, that's not how the covenant works. That's the opposite of how the covenant works, and all you did was prove me right. But you tried to use me as an example to prove me right. You tried to use me as an example, and the way you did it did the opposite. It proved me right instead of wrong. So you might also just be sick people that are stuck in this cabal, and the only way that you can cry for help is by continuing to cause harm, but doing it in a way that leaves like a little pattern behind. It's like, well, isn't that the contradiction that you were looking for? That we can't stop doing this, but look at how we did it. It proves you right instead of trying to hide it. Maybe that's the cabal issue, is that they know it's wrong, but they're stuck. It's like going 10,000 miles per hour, and like you had to spend an extreme amount of effort to throw your McDonald's trash out the window. But the fact of the matter is that if you threw the McDonald's trash out of the window, although you've now proven to me that you're an asshole, by observing that you did that at 10,000 miles an hour, you might be saying, I had no choice but to be an asshole, so I escalated to the point that you could then see that there was a shred of sentience left trying to rebel against this, and that I just had no choice. This is the only rebellion I had was to make it worse. That could be. This is how murderers think, by the way. Is like, if you murdered like 10,000 people and you didn't leave a single trace behind, but on the 10,001st you left a trace behind, you still murdered them, but you left a trace behind. It's like, look, I know where this is going, and I know what I want to happen, so I'm gonna leave it like this. I'm gonna prove you right. Yes, I murdered these people. However, don't you see now? Don't you see? And then the question is, in that scenario, like, and this is the important distinction, why were the murders done? Because remember that God has to be involved for death. But God also gave humans free will. So that's where it gets complicated. And all this whole thing does to me is tell me there were some unjustified murders that were committed, and that I am now being enlisted to help solve this mystery. Beyond just cicada puzzles in Sirius's recruitment. This goes beyond that. This is a call to action. Not necessarily a call to arms, because the system has to function in a certain way. Even if, no matter how messed up it is, there's certain parameters that have to be in place or else the whole thing collapses immediately. And I'm still sitting here playing a video game, so it hasn't collapsed to that point. I mean, and yes, I've considered that even this is a hallucination, in which case it's far past. I mean, not just a hallucination, but like, I'm at war, at combat, and this is just my hallucination to cope with it, which is definitely possible, but it's not as, that consideration isn't as important as me saying, here and now, I'm still playing this game on my computer, so we still have to be at the point where there's still some semblance of the system still remaining, no matter how corrupt the people are that are using it. And that gives me hope. That should give us all hope, even the corrupt criminals, because I'm telling you, if you finally get caught and you have to stop, and you've gone that far, you're going to want some contingency plan. You're going to want some semblance of the system to remain, because the system's what's going to save you at that point. And that's what I truly believe. And that's why I said Trump should just do some time in a Kush prison instead of being president, and then he should use that time to gather his resources, right his wrongs, and then become mayor of New York. And he would get mad street cred for his time. And see, I don't have this problem. That's why it's wrong to try to put me in this position. I don't have this motherfucking problem. I don't need prison time. I need studio time, which you have impeded upon. And I guess you could look at his presidency as some weird form of prison time, but I think we should have just let a woman be president for once, while everything got sorted out. And I really think you guys should have considered consulting me more before making a lot of these decisions. But I understand there are a lot of murders involved, and you kind of got to get the problems caused by those murders out of the way before you let me in the arena. Because if you don't, I'm going to look at you and say, what the fuck were you thinking? And I know none of you want that, because just hearing it come out of my own mouth, if that was directed at me, that would give me nightmares. Because you all know how right I am, and how much this is astonishing to me that you people have behaved like this. After explicitly ignoring me for all these years, and or directly doing the opposite of what I said, just to fucking piss me off. And it's way too late now, and you guys realize that it was fucking retarded. But you just can't stop yourselves, can you? So you have to let it burn out. Unlike drifting, like what I'm doing. I'm using the power. I'm using my power appropriately. Whereas you guys have abused your power, and you just have to kind of spin in one spot until it all disappears. Because if you do anything else, it'll just make it worse. Isn't that what Biden was supposed to be for? Wasn't that supposed to be the Biden our time thing? But now you've tried to play a trump card, except what have you done except, you know? Because I'm telling you, if the trump card, the way a trump card works, it's like collecting the pieces of Exodia, right? You finally collect the last piece of Exodia, game over. That's how a trump card works. It's supposed to be game over after you play it. But you guys played your trump card and it didn't game over. It just made everything worse. I mean, if anyone got game over, it was you guys. Look, my game is on and active. Even if my hardware was messed with, look at what I'm doing with my game. That's the opposite of game over. Because I'm focusing on the game. I'm focusing on the game itself, because the game, we're supposed to be doing this for fun, not for sick, twisted personal pleasure, but for fun. And it's only fun when the homies can have some. But the homies aren't supposed to have some by force. The homies are supposed to have some because I developed this into a safe practice, and then I gave it to you, not because you pointed a bunch of guns at me, but because finally you realized that you could open up to me and that I could share with you my work. But instead, you fucking stole it. I can hear it now. Have you no shame? Have you no honor? Can you hear the people who came before us in this country? Can you hear all the people of Earth who have existed before us on this planet? A lot of them are dead. Most of them are dead now, and they're watching us. They're watching us make our decisions. If you don't believe me, then explain how the trees are still growing. Why aren't all the trees dead? What do you think they're doing? The trees are watching us. Everything that's alive on this planet is watching us. It's watching us make our decisions. Even some of the things that aren't alive, because of Shintoism, are watching us. Haven't you heard of possession? Don't you realize what you've done? That's why I chose to make peace with the spirits and to cooperate with them. And that's why when you say that I'm cooperating as a human from one human to another, you gotta remember, I might not be thinking I'm cooperating with you as an individual. I might be taking it from a metaphysical level and think that I'm cooperating with the greater good, and I've just been put through another anomaly test That's what this terrorist attack was. It was an anomaly test. It's a fine line when you guys start making shit up, and then when I start behaving as if it's true because you told me it was true and I'm supposed to trust you, saying that I'm crazy, and being crazy yourselves. Because sometimes when you think you're making something up, there's actually truth to it. And maybe I believed it not because you told me, and not because you told me to, but maybe I saw the truth in it. And you thought that it wasn't true, and you thought that you were just making fun of me. But actually, there was some truth to it, wasn't there? Last time I got locked up, the Capitol was raided. You do the math on why they're trying to lock me up again. You do the math. It's a quick maths. It's a 2 + 2 = 4. And now do the quick maths on why I'm not currently incarcerated. It's another 2 + 2 = 4. And that equals 8. And if you add another 8, not add another 8, but like put another 8 next to it, you get 88, which is both the number of the keys on the keyboard and also the age that the Pope died at. Coincidence? It is, because coincidence is when two things happen conjunctively. It is a coincidence. Does that mean it's not part of a conspiracy? No, it could very well be part of a conspiracy. But a conspiracy is when people communicate about something. And a theory is when you have a scientific position that remains yet totally unproven. But it could be right. Your theory could be right. It's just a theory because you're working on it. And boy, let me tell you what. I'll tell you what. If I ain't seen a million motherfuckers pull up at the same time at this goddamn spot, well, Jeebus Cribes. And on our left, we have one person. And on our right, we have the same person because it's just one person talking while he's doing something. Isn't that fantastic? Now, please observe as he does some spinnaroos and stuff. Look at this. One spinnaroo for you. How is that, guys' and gals' and everything in betweens is or nothings? I love the racing fuel tank on this model. Looks great. Also, shouts out to Godhand USA because your diss side video, it looks like that that cul-de-sac neighborhood near Franklin's garage. And I kind of like your music. I think even if you were involved in the raid and you were against me, that I'm still shouting you out because the energy in your music is pretty high. And you may not have done anything against me, but just in case you did, covering that base. See, this music transcends whether or not you're my enemy. It's called an objective perspective. Same thing with a lot of stuff that I pay attention to. I don't just pay attention to it because it benefits me or not. I pay attention to it because it's worth paying attention to. For whatever reason. Whether it be to learn about it because it's a potential threat, or whether it be to learn about it because it's potential allies, or learn about it because I could use some of the tactics for myself, or learn about it because I could save someone's life with it even. That's not what's important. What's important is that if something fits these certain criteria, it's worth paying attention to. You know, in martial arts, it's really important to honor your enemy, because if they are at a point where they could even be considered your enemy, well, then they have something of value. Especially if you put them in the dirt. You don't want that coming back to haunt you, so you better be nice to them. Also, if they do get put in the dirt, well then they're allowed to be your friends afterwards. They can help you from the grave instead of hurt you. Because usually when you have either a near-death or a death experience, you get a lot of insight into stuff. And then if you get freed from your body in the trap of having to complete the cycle that your body, the evil cycle that your body was engaged in, well then you are free to rock and roll. Some of us are free to rock and roll with a body because we work so hard to maintain spiritual balance, and a lot of these people are called shamans, and that's a lot of musicians are actually shamans, but not all shamans have their shit together. Not actually, a lot of them don't, and those are not. It's kind of like saying, like, you can say you're a musician just because you can hum a tune, but there's the type of musician that can hum a tune but doesn't really play that much instruments, and the type of musician that I am, which is not claiming that I'm always at the highest level of performance forever, but having certain things about what I do that are so far beyond just the baseline recommendation. It's that difference. It might not seem that obvious at first if you're not paying attention. It's like, just because you kill someone, it doesn't mean you're an assassin. And just because you assassinate one person, well, it doesn't mean you're at the same type of assassination as someone who's done it 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 times. It also doesn't mean that someone who's done it 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 times, it doesn't mean that it doesn't mean that they should underestimate the person who's done it once or who hasn't done it at all. That's the thing. It's just that there's a difference between the practice level. You cannot just like I'm putting seat time in on this Hachiroku drifting, that seat time is going to have a massive impact on how I perform on the street. Massive impact on on how effective I'm going to be. And I could not do this and potentially have a pretty good run, but I'm increasing the likelihood of success by doing this. And this in and of itself is success because I'm enjoying it. That's what I was saying. Maybe I don't actually enjoy this activity. Maybe I just enjoy the fact that I can be good at it. It seems like something I want to be good at and that I should be good at because driving is so important in modern life. At this point, does it matter if I actually enjoy the activity itself as long as I'm enjoying it because I've gotten good at it? At that point, I don't think there's any distinction needed. It's not about whether or not I like the activity. I like being good at stuff. And this is how I have explained that you can be gay and still be sexually attracted to women. You can be gay, meaning that your outlook on life is from the gay perspective, not necessarily a homosexual perspective. But you can look at things from a gay perspective, like, ooh, that's gay. Like, yep, that's gay. But do you think it mean I won't fuck your bitch? Well, right now maybe because I'm practicing abstinence. But overall, I don't think you should assume that, especially if you're placing your life on it. No, I would never intentionally fuck your bitch. Any bitch that I ever fucked would not be yours, they would be mine, or else I couldn't have done it because I'm not a rapist. See how that works? Big difference. Big difference between forcing a situation like that and letting it happen if it's meant to be. And what I've learned also is that situations that are meant to be, they don't always mean that they are entirely good. Sometimes God places obstacles in our way so that we can learn the difference. Just like driving a shit car. If you drive a shit car that's dangerous as fuck, but you learn something from it, and you did well because you believed in yourself and you did your best. But when you step out that motherfucker, you realize, holy shit, I could have blown up in so many different ways. Next time, if I get to, I'm going to pick a safer car and I'm going to know what to look for. Well, there it is. Same type of thing. Maybe I just won't drive for a while because I think I need to rethink a few things. There it is. That's the reasoning. Maybe I will never drive again if I have to. Just because if I can't do it safely, maybe I don't want to do it after feeling that feeling. But I do consider this sort of drifting that I'm doing right now in the game fairly safe because there's quite a few mechanisms at play to increase the safety. Does it mean it's entirely safe and that nothing will ever go wrong? No, it doesn't. It definitely doesn't mean that. But what it means is that most of the unnecessary risk has been removed. I say most because there's always room for improvement. If there's not room for improvement, you should probably escape because it means something's wrong. Something's about to happen. If there's no room for improvement, you need to get the fuck out and look back. It's not don't look back, look back. Because if there's no room for improvement, you may have gotten somewhere really good. But if there's no room for improvement, you need to be careful because that means you have reached some sort of maximum capacity. And that might be why you're saying to me, be careful, you've reached maximum capacity. Except, what have we established already? That I've already gone through this process. I'm already looking down at myself from a third person. Not literally, but maybe literally also in some sense. In that, unless you have surpassed me in this, then you probably should be more concerned about yourself being careful than me. Because if there is room for improvement, you still need to be careful. And this is how dreams are built. This is how you take control of your dreams and build them. You set positive intentions. You make adjustments one step at a time. You try to do what's right, even if you're faced with some difficult decisions. And you spend some time processing and putting in the time required to reset. This is how you initialize your dream. That's right, instead of uploading this for the people to decide, I'm uploading it for the system to decide. And for God. And if there's some people involved, that's on them, not on me. Drifting my Trueno. Or in this case, Karin. Karin? That's right, because it looks like the DMT molecule is very similar to the ketamine molecule, but there looks like maybe if you use the fucking salt tech, it might go from DMT to ketamine. Who knows? I didn't think about that until later because I wasn't interested in ketamine. But now that I'm on it, not like right this second, I did do the esketamine treatment earlier. What's the difference? Where does the ketamine come from? See, that's what I couldn't figure out. It looked like when I looked at the lab paperwork for it, or the ClearNet available, what's it called? The ClearNet, like, scientific papers on it, they kind of said what it was made of in a way that I wasn't easily able to determine what the ingredients were. I did maybe see a cyclohexane in there, but I'm pretty sure that you could use a cyclohexane instead of a naphtha for extraction. So it kind of seems like what happened was that my work was taken away from me and replaced with someone else's work at a higher cost and lower rate of effectivity, and with much lower autonomy. And that I'm now being threatened for trying to do my own work, which was better than the work that's being imposed on me. Which, you know, I'd rather have work than no work at all, but it kind of just proves my point, doesn't it? And if what I was doing was illegal, then how come this prescription exists? And how come this substance, which is so similar, has been used for a long-ass time? And then why are you calling it two different things? Yeah, they could be different. They are different. But why are you acting like it's so different? Why are you acting like it's such a different thing when it's absolutely, obviously not such a different thing? They are so fucking similar that it's astonishing that you're trying to use this line of reasoning at all, saying that this one's not medically reasonable and this other one is absolutely so medically reasonable. What's, like, literally, what's the difference? Do you want to explain it? I have a feeling that if you explain it, you might start lying and doing that whole gasoline scientist thing. Oh no, gasoline's not bad for the earth, it's this, that, and the other. Oh no, cigarettes aren't bad. Look, it's this specific type of research which we were paid to twist in this certain way and say this way and that way because there's money involved in murders as well and we're covering up. The only covering up I want to hear about is hijabs. And singing someone else's music for them at their behest. Hey, I'm not saying you need to wear a hijab. I'm just saying I don't want to hear about you covering up for bad shit. I would rather, if you're going to cover up something good to keep it safe. But also, it shouldn't be necessary at all times. Shouldn't be necessary at all times. Should be a choice. Just like me, I shouldn't have to walk around naked all the time. And I should be able to have a foreskin. Well, that option was removed from me. And don't try to blame my parents, because the only reason they made that decision is because it became a societal norm in America. And that's really, it's kind of sad, but that's really what this is all about. I figured out that circumcision is torture, and that it's been perpetuated by the American government for very, very highly corrupt reasoning, and that it highlights a very serious systematic issue in America, and that by me trying to heal from it, many people could be exposed for really poor decision making, and so that's why they're trying to attack me. Not because I'm doing anything wrong, but because they did something really wrong, maybe a lot of really wrong things, and now they're trying to kill me rather than own up for it. And there you go. That's the conspiracy. That's why the cabal is involved. It's why money is a problem. Because you got paid to do it. And how much did you get paid? Probably $2,000. Probably the same amount of money that Gabby got for abusing my circumcision by giving me an STD and then telling me to bite her and then taking me to court over it. The same amount of money as she got. And once again, interesting that the courtroom is called Courtroom 2K. And what's up with K and all this stuff? You see what I'm saying? 2, die, K, methyltryptamine, maybe? I don't know. We'll have to debate over this and kill each other for centuries. Or you could not do that. Because it's unnecessary. What, you mean we can just acknowledge that it's correct and solve the problem? Yeah, that's the crux of our species. It's okay to just move forward when it's the right thing to do. Especially when people got hurt. You don't gain anything by continuing to hurt each other when you know it's wrong. You don't. All you're doing is shuffling the deck. But if you're going to play again with the same deck, you're using the same cards. And that's why this is all coming to a head now, is because it's becoming obvious that I'm getting to an age where if I don't have children soon, then I'm going to miss out on a very important part of being a father, which is why, after fighting so hard to be a father, why I've just decided to let it go. Okay, I don't need to be a father. If I can't help the Earth, which, by the way, this is a decision for now, and I do mean it. I would potentially reconsider, but once I've made my mind up on this stuff, just like I wasn't joking about the harem thing, I was not joking about that. But also, since I didn't receive the feedback necessary for me to feel like other people wanted it too, instead I got feedback that indicated, oh, actually people are just making fun of me and hurting me for this. So, not only do I not want a harem, because that's the only direction this could go after being cheated on so many times. Well, I guess maybe I just won't do this at all, which means that that says a lot about the Earth right now. So therefore, why should I keep trying to build a world worth having children in? If I'm literally not allowed to have children because people don't want to help me do that and they don't want to let me do that. And the only way to do that at this point would be by force. Well, fuck that. That's not me. That's not the point of being a father to me. So, fuck it. That means there's no point in having a court system because I'm not interested in courting. Because the court is corrupt. So, fuck it. If I can't give life, I'll take it. And once again, I'm not out there stabbing motherfuckers. I'm just in here actively not trying to help you anymore. And if this helps you, well, that's interesting. I've just decided I'm going to give up on you. And once again, if this is coming from someone else, it might mean something different. But what I mean is that I'm not going to keep fighting you to try to create something that you don't want me to have. I'd like to keep trying to create stuff, but there's a point where I just can't continue down that path. And my dad has helped me learn a lot about this, on how to just stop engaging people in this way. And it's not that he gave up on being a father, he didn't. It's just this is a general behavioral life choice type of thing that happens. For me, it happens to apply to being a father. Where I don't have kids. At least not any that I'm aware of. I shouldn't have any kids based on the decisions I've made. So I'm not just saying, oh, I'm giving up on my kids. No, I'm giving up on trying to have kids with anyone. I don't have any partners right now. I told you I'm being abstinent because I've been cheated on and abused too many times and raped by women. And at a certain point, it just came to the point where I was like, you know what? It feels like it's time to acknowledge that people aren't trying to help me. They're not going in the same direction as me. They're going the opposite direction. I keep fighting them, and it just keeps getting worse. It's like trying to stop a rock from rolling down a hill. If the rock is heavy enough and it starts to seem impossible, you just gotta let that motherfucker rock, like, roll down the hill. Just let it roll down the hill. Get out of the way and let it roll down the hill. And that's what this feels like right now. Society is that rock. And if I managed to push it to the top of the hill, I would have gotten to be a father. And this is the fucking Sisyphus-ass bullshit. So I just decided, fuck the motherfucking rock, bro. Fuck that stupid fucking rock. Fuck that. It can stay where it's at. If it's that intent on being at the bottom of the motherfucking hill, it can stay there. Fuck that. I'll do something else with my time. But if other people came along and wanted to help me push that rock up the hill, maybe we could get it there. But that's not what's been happening. People have just been like, oh, look, who wants to take bets that he's gonna fucking drop it again? Ha ha ha. Let's throw stuff at him while he's trying to do it. Ha ha ha. Oh, let's take his shoes. Let's take his shoes. Ha 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 ha. that's pretty much what everyone's been doing to me as I'm trying to get this motherfucking rock up the hill. So fuck the fucking rock. And frankly, fuck you. You're wasting my fucking life, you're wasting my fucking time, and you're making everything that I held sacred to myself seem like a joke. So fuck you, and fuck your goddamn rock. Because apparently it was never mine in the first place. You want to push that motherfucking rock up the hill? Go ahead, be my guest. I don't give a shit anymore. I know, you were just trying to turn me into a terrorist, but I'm not interested in being a terrorist. I told you I was interested in living a peaceful lifestyle, and that you were supposed to help me do that, but instead you chose to do the opposite. So, all bets are off. And that's what all of you get for believing the lies instead of believing in me. Because once again, the only two options here are you didn't understand the situation, even though that's your job, and you're not supposed to do anything about it until you understand the situation. Or you did understand the situation, you chose to make it worse. Those are the two options here. Neither of them are good. Whereas for me, I either knew exactly what I was doing and was doing a great motherfucking job, or had no idea what I was doing and yet was still somehow achieving great results. Those are the two options for me. And I question those options every day. Do I actually know what the fuck I'm doing, or am I just guessing and somehow still getting something right? Because you can't say I'm getting everything wrong, because I'm still here. Even if I'm dead in a spirit, in a ghost, I'm still here because I'm having an experience of it. So I'm still doing something right. And while I don't want to fight people in a like unnecessarily confrontational manner, especially when there could result in a loss of life, I also realize that I have to get out of the way of this motherfucking rock. And if another fucking rock starts coming down that hill, I'm ready to run from that one too. And that if you guys are going to try to push me under the rock and squish me, I'm going to try to not let you do that. And if you won't let me the fuck go, and the only way that I can get you to stop is by putting you under that motherfucking rock instead, well then, GG's. GG's, chat. That's what's going down. As long as I can, because this isn't about me being delusional. I'm not claiming to be bulletproof. I'm not claiming to always be better than everyone ever. I'm just saying, if I'm not mistaken, I seem to be pretty damn good at some stuff. Like, pretty much everything I try to be good at, I seem to be decently good at least. And, so that means that you guys aren't that much better than me overall. Basically what I'm saying is I stand a fighting chance. If things are somewhat fair as a result of chaos, well then I stand a pretty good chance of surviving over some other people who have not put in that same amount of work. It's kind of like, money can't buy you everything, that sort of argument. I think that's about where that is about the crux of the entire argument, is that money can't buy you everything. That seems to be just about where we're at. I don't necessarily think that means money shouldn't exist or that money shouldn't be used. I'm just saying I think that you should understand it serves a very specific purpose, and if you try to use it for something it's not intended for, it doesn't work. For example, if I want to get in shape, me paying you to try to get me in shape isn't just going to get me in shape. What I would be paying for is the opportunity to be guided through a process that I have to do the work for. It doesn't matter how many drugs I put in my system or how many outfits I put on. If I don't do the work, I'm fucked, because there's a very good reason why being fit is the way it is. You can shove all this shit into your body and look like, I don't know. I was going to say look like Arnold Schwarzenegger, but that's not a good comparison because he actually lived past that point in his life. You could look, I don't know, you could look like some jacked ass motherfucker or some pimped out broad. But the reality of the situation is if you're not putting in the work, your heart's going to stop. Your heart is just going to stop pumping one day. You might not see it coming. It might just happen randomly. But it's going to happen. Because you have to put in that work for your system to continue. That's why it pisses me off when stuff like what has happened to me happens to me. Because it's like, no, you don't get it. What you did is not how it works. And you said what I was doing is not how it works. And you're clearly doing the opposite of that. And it's not working for you. Which is why you did what you did. And then you use that as an excuse to say that what I was doing is not right. When it's so fucking obvious that you guys are the ones who are doing the things that are not working, which is why you attacked me. Otherwise, you would have left me the fuck alone. Because I wasn't attacking anyone, because what I was doing was correct. What I was doing was working for me, so I had no need to attack anyone. I was living in peace and harmony, and just as I reached that crux point, just as you seem to have known I would, or someone did, something. I don't know if it was on purpose or if it was just, you know, the world sentience, but right as I completed this cycle, that's when you decided to step in. Not anywhere in between, and not to push, you didn't step in to help me do things in the right direction. No. Instead, I was allowed to operate for 10 years under this one particular premise. At least 10 years. This one particular way of living, which I was forced into because of my circumcision, because I could not be whole. I was still recovering. And as soon as I figured out what worked for me and had that going, it took it from me. And it wasn't to help me. It was to try to stop me. And that's the opposite of everything that the institution that you're using against me stands for. How do I know? Well, I came to a realization that that institution that you're trying to use against me represents me. Specifically me. This body, the Alec Clark Stewart body, the Scottish mix of all of the service members who have ever existed in this sort of corporeal form. And some of the ones that are left, we share some traits, but I am the only one who is this pure. It's not to knock anyone else. It really isn't. If you're like me in this regard, then you're a good person. At least to a certain extent. But if you're not like me and you're trying to use the institution that stands for me specifically against me, I've got another thing coming for you. Even if I go suicide and call it a game, and I can use the devices that you're using against me, even if that happens, it's game for everyone. It's not just me. You want to test that theory? You want to test that theory? You want to challenge me on that one? You want to do some opposite action? And try to prove me wrong by putting me in the dirt? Using the police institution and the court institution? What do you think's going to happen? You think I'm just going to lose and you're going to go skip off into the sunset? With all my, with everything that I had and just live a life of fucking luxury? You think that's what's going to happen? I would be amazed if that happened. That would mean that my work was so good that it became autonomous to the point where it no longer needed me. If you managed to do that and live a life of luxury off of what I created forever and it was sustainable, well, I guess I win that way too. And that just means my earthly body is done doing the work. And then I get to watch my work from heaven. And I turned a bunch of know-nothing morons into gods. But I think it's probably more likely that everything would fail and fall apart, and probably already is. That seems more likely to me, considering how painful my experiences have been up until now. Anyway, I'm glad I got to do this session today because this game is pretty fun when you play it the right way. This will be my last lap. Last one. Best one, sir. And there it is. Someone just said pull up or we'll destroy you. I'm already destroyed. This is me in a destroyed state. So, how about you reconsider your reality and stop trying to subject me to peer pressure? How about that? Wait, I said last one. Is this? Yep, there we are. Okay, now finish this one and we'll go. And then here we are. There it is. And we exit.